Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. Well, we hope everyone had an enjoyable Shabbos as we finally caught up to Eretz Yisrael. So we're all in line now. Real Achdus, everybody reading the same parsha, but we begin a new week of learning. Of course, the 3 weeks will be upon us later this week, as we have been discussing. So these are now truly in Yani Dioma, and we ask you to please continue davening for Chayei Tzva Gana Yisrael, for Shalom L'Chol Yisrael, safety of our brothers and sisters in Israel. And we learn each day Le'ili Nishmat Sarah and Daniel Shimon ben Harav Duron v'Shel Yishem Kam Demo. So the next chapter is Rechitza. So even though according to the institution of Chazal, the prohibition of washing only applied to Tisha B'Av itself, nevertheless, so the Rishonim, again in the Middle Ages, they instituted a more stringent application of this, that there was no washing even in the days before Tisha B'Av. Those who are very strict are accustomed to wash even with cold water during the entire 9 days. And only as we got closer to Shabbos Chazon, the Shabbos right before Tisha B'Av, did they wash a little bit with cold water. This is how Ashkenazim carry themselves, and most North Africans and Babylonians. And those who are a little more lenient, their custom is they don't wash with hot water in the week in which Tisha B'Av falls. However, when it comes to washing with cold water, there was no prohibition at all. And this is the custom of those who are from Sephardic descent, mostly around Israel and the surrounding areas of Israel and some North Africa. But in the past, there was no water flowing in people's homes. So since they didn't have regular flowing water in their homes, and by not washing wasn't necessarily the same type of bother, because they had to actually bother to go and wash, so washing became sort of a unique experience, and it was actually one of pleasure because I had to go somewhere to wash. But nowadays, our hygiene customs and the way we bathe have completely changed. Nowadays, it's a regular thing for people to bathe. We bathe every single day with soap, and if you don't bathe one day, you're going to have some sort of suffering and discomfort. In fact, some people can't even go to sleep unless there is a shower. So therefore, taking that into consideration, if a person feels pain and suffering because he's not washing or showering, one is allowed to wash with soap and shampoo for the hair. You should use lukewarm water, enough that you're not going to have so much enjoyment from this, but you're also not going to suffer. And the whole purpose of this showering is just for cleanliness. According to those who are machmir, this applies for all 9 days. And those who are lenient, this applies also in the week in which Tisha B'Av falls. But before that, so in other words, in the 3 weeks leading up to the 9 days, you could wash regularly, even for pleasure. And when it comes to Shabbos Chazon, those who are lenient can use hot water, and those who are strict could use lukewarm water. Someone who doesn't shower and has bad body odor, maybe it doesn't bother you, because maybe it's not uncomfortable for you, but it could be uncomfortable for the people who are around you, and therefore a person is required to wash during the 9 days and in the week in which Tisha B'Av falls, because the notion of kavod habrios, of having common decency, of honor for Hashem's creations, and if we don't do that, then it could actually cause a bizayon, it could cause an embarrassment to Hashem's creatures. Long note here, number 15, about this notion of washing and body odor, etc. What about in going into a pool or going into some sort of body of water. Im hamator lebilui, kvar merosh chodesh aser, neshetzorch lemay b'simcha. If this is just for some sort of enjoyment, swimming for pleasure or just to relax, then already from Rosh Chodesh this is prohibited because this is an element of simcha. If you have hamatar briotit, but if this is for health reasons, let's say people who swim regularly for exercise, for other health reasons, so the mutar ad Shabbos Chazon, you can do it up until the week Tisha B'Av falls, until Shabbos Chazon. But after Shabbos Chazon, one should be strict. But someone who really needs it for medical purposes, not just health, but medical purposes, then you could do it up until Erev Tisha B'Av. So this is a wonderful example of how modern practice affects our halachic practice. So when the Gemara says not to wash, not to bathe, the way people bathe then was different. So nowadays, since we bathe so regularly, I ask you to please be considerate of your neighbors, because if you don't bathe, again, we have an issue of kavod habrius. But we have here now kavod haTorah. We thank you for joining us as we begin another week of learning. Please continue davening for Chayleik Tzvah Israel, for Shalom Israel, safety brothers and sisters in Israel. We learn each day. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.